Good morning. It's early. Let's see, it's about almost 6 a.m. I've been out here for about an hour or so, and I thought I'd bring you guys in and take a look at what I'm doing this morning. So it's at that point. Next month is August. What's this, the 24th of July? And right now it's about 57 degrees. It's chilly out. It is chilly. It's going to be 82 later today. So you can see we have pretty big swings in temperatures. The grass is all soaking wet. I'm wearing my wet boots so I don't get soaking wet feet. The ladies here, I'll bring you in to take a look at them in just a minute. We'll do an inspection. But what I'm doing right now is I'm adding cocoa to the top of each one of my pots. So it acts as several things. Number one, it helps to act as an insulator to keep the soil a little bit moist longer, because in August it tends to, in New England, it tends to get a little bit drier here. And you have hot days, dry times. It may be a wet year, it may be a dry year, I don't know. We have to go through it, so I prepare for it anyways. So I've already done all my top dressings. I've put my powders on there, my organic powders, amendments, stuff like that. And so now I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my cocoa on there. Let me bring this up to the camera so you can see it. I happened to get a great deal at the grocery store. This stuff was on sale for $10 a bag. I mean, normally it's about $26 a bag to $29 a bag for cocoa. It's a good quality cocoa here. It's all I need is just to use it as an insulator to cover the tops. Is it the best cocoa on the market? I don't know. I'm not using it for growing. I'm using it for insulating. But when it comes out of the bag, you're going to notice a lot of clumps. So what I like to do is use this little bin, and I just basically break it up. I want it to be nice and just nice and smooth. So I'm going to break it up, put it in my little buckets here, and this way I can just put it on top of each pot. Makes it very easy. So I'll show you in just a second. I'll bring you in with the camera, and that's it. So I've already done this pot here. This one's next. Pretty simple. Just drop it in and then spread it around nice and evenly. I like to have like 2 or 3 inch layer on top. And when I water, I can water right through it. And moving forward, what we're going to do is we're going to be brewing teas. So I'll do some worm casting teas, some compost teas, and then I'll also be using the Roots Organic terp teas. I love that stuff. It's an excellent product. I've used it for quite a few years now. If you go back and look at some of my greenhouse applications, I've done some terp teas there and brewed up teas. So now that I'm in this new property, I've got to find myself a nice brewing bin. I sold the last one, sold the greenhouse, and I'm not sure if I'll put a greenhouse on this property or not, but for sure I'm definitely going to look for some additional tools like that food grade. I had a food grade 15-gallon bin that I could brew stuff in, and I know the next town over there's a guy that sells IBC totes and rain barrels and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go search for one. If not, I'll look on the marketplace. All right, so let me bring you guys in to see a little bit closer. Let's go take a look. All right, so you can see this was the Atami Buzz Cocoa substrate. It was on sale at the grocery store, so $10 a bag. Can't beat that, man. So I grabbed a few bags. I'm also going to have some around. When I do my cloning video, I like to use cocoa. I'll use some Rockwell. I'll use some Root Riot plugs. I'll show you all the different methodologies of doing clones. But let's take a look closer. You can see basically it just covers it up nicely. Looks clean. It's an insulator. It keeps it nice and moist just below. So I have probably about a 2.5 inch layer there. I may need a little bit more. And the cool part about it is if I do want to do some top dressings, it's real simple. I just pull it back and I can top dress and just recover it over like that. But in this case here, most likely because I've already done my top dressings a couple times, I'm now going to do is do teas, and I can just water right through it. So you can water through it, and when you water something, you might push a little bit, just push it right back over, cover it up, and you can always add, as it compacts, you can add another layer on top of that. But I found it to work really well for me so that I can still work with the soil if I have to. And again, over here, same thing. just pop it in. So when you look at your cocoa, a lot of cocos will come out, there'll be chunks. You know, you got big chunks here like this, so you're gonna wanna just break it up. Just take a second and break it up. This cocoa happened to be, when they got this pallet of it, it seemed to be a little bit moist. So I kept my bags out in the sunshine yesterday so they get nice and warm. They're nice and warm right now, it's kind of cool. But you wanna break up these clumps. Just give them a little squeeze. That's it, just break it up, real simple. A couple of little measuring vessels here that I use for moving stuff around. So let's go take a look at the ladies. They're looking pretty happy. Last night I sprayed them with Lost Coast Plant Therapy, which is basically an oil-based pesticide, fungicide, miticide type of a product. It works fantastic. It's excellent. It's a little bit on the pricey side, I gotta be honest, but it goes a long way because it is a concentrate, but you gotta have it. There is an investment that you have to make to protect your plants. We get these brown beetles that come out at night. This is previous damage here. You can see that right there where they're eating it. But they're not going crazy because you deposit that spray on here, they do not like it. And it also protects it from powdery mildew. Now, I'm in New England, and in New England, there's plants out in nature that have powdery mildew on them. I have a plant out in the front of this property that has powdery mildew on it. I sprayed it several times with neem oils just to knock it back, keep the spores down under control, because I don't want them landing on my plants. But I make the assumption that you're going to get powdery mildew spores that will land on your leaf surface. Now, if you're not treating your plants and that spore lands, this is what will happen. It throws an injection tube. Sounds weird. It throws an injection tube into the interstitial space of the plant trying to get to the moisture, and about 2 weeks from that point of infection, you'll see a little white bloom that starts to form. And if you don't take care of it, it'll continue to spread. Before you know it, it's all over your plants. Now, being 6 a.m., you can see the moisture on the leaves. All right, so we have warm days, cold nights. You're going to have dew building up on your plants. This is part of the danger of growing outdoors in New England. So it's very important to select genetics that do well in high humidity areas. I didn't choose these plants, they chose me, right? We talked about that in my very first video that I posted on this project. These 4 plants here were the first batch that found me, and I said, okay, I'll volunteer, I'll help take care of you, I'll be the caregiver. Now, this plant here, I like the structure because it does have that sativa lean. All right, so for new growers that are just starting out in your journey in this craft of growing cannabis, I call it cannabis. You notice I don't call it marijuana. Marijuana is a slang name, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, a lot of people call it marijuana. I just cringe when I hear that because marijuana is not what it is. Scientifically, it's Cannabis sativa L. That's the scientific name for it. That's what it is. It's cannabis. But the man, him and the industrialists, they wanted to fuck you over and call it marijuana and reefer madness, and this is evil weed, this is the devil's lettuce. Well, it's not. It's a very sacred plant. It's been around for thousands of years. It produces resins and cannabinoids and terpenes and esters and plant alcohols and all that sort of stuff and flavonoids. But the cannabinoids match the cannabinoids that your body produces naturally. Did you know your body produces 2 cannabinoids naturally? What's a cannabinoid you're saying? Oh, THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. It's a cannabinoid. CBD, cannabidiol. It's a cannabinoid. And it binds with your cell receptors. Your body has an ECS system, endocannabinoid receptor system. Every cell in your body has these receptor sites because your body produces 2 cannabinoids naturally. Anandamide is one, that's the bliss compound. Everything feels just all right, excellent. And then your body produces 2 arachidonyl glycerol. This is a long name. The short name is 2-AG. It produces those cannabinoids to help your body get back to balance, homeostasis they call that. So for some reason, this plant has what we produce naturally, but we use this as a supplement. It helps us to feel better, relaxed. We use it for ailments, like PTSD, Crohn's, Parkinson's, cancers, all sorts of stuff. So it has medicinal properties to help your body heal itself. But back to the plant itself. You have what we know in the industry as sativas and indicas, okay? Technically, they're called thin leaf drug cultivars or wide leaf drug cultivars. That's the technical name, but none of us use that. We use the street names, sativas and indicas. Indicouch, sativa up, indica down, right? So sativas, their profiles, their terpene profiles and cannabinoid profiles have a tendency to speed you up. Indicas have a tendency to settle you down, slow you down again. So when I look at the structure of a plant, like I'm looking at, these ones are very dense, these are dense. That one is very, very dense over there. We'll get over to that in a second. But this one is kind of stretched out a little bit, and I really like that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The sun's just starting to come up over the horizon. These plants will start to wake up. They'll start to pray. They'll taco, all that sort of stuff. We'll take a look at those ones in a few minutes. Those are other groups that found me. They find you, man. You can't hide from this plant, this sacred plant. But what a beautiful morning it is here in July in New England. But you can see we get that nice long stretchy. So it's a little bit thinner on the leaf structure. Again, everything's hybridized, because breeders have been crossing everything back and forth, and everything's kind of muddled. But you can see this leans, that's what we call it, leaning into the sativa, or leaning into the indicas. You can see these leaves are a little bit wider, and then these leaves a little bit thinner, right? Thin leaf drug cultivar, wide leaf drug cultivar. Okay, a little fun fact for you. All right, back to the plant structure. This one, I love how it stretches out, and all these little internodes are coming out nicely. A lot of airflow goes through there, and it really comes down to where did the genetic code originate? When you hear that term landrace, and I think it was Kevin Jodrey who pointed it out, that a landrace, a true landrace, is a cultivar that's never been touched by humankind. If it's touched by humans, it's cultivated variety. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, wow, that guy's cool. He's smart. Super sharp. It's been around a long time. He actually originates from out near where I'm from. And he's a New England guy, moved out to California a long time ago. But anyways, let's back to this. What I did do recently, if you may have been watching some of the other videos, maybe you didn't, shame on you. Get in there and watch those videos. All right, you can see right in this little section right there was a cut. I topped it. And the reason I topped it, I wanted to slow down the upward trajectory. I didn't want this plant continuing going up, 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 up into the sky. I did want it to do is by topping it, what happens is it drives repair hormones, right? It's going to repair itself. But these internodes here have a chance to catch up. That's why you're seeing all these pushing out. So this is stopped. It's repairing itself. It's going to start again. There's a possibility of topping again. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll see how the structure comes out. Same with over here. Same thing's happening right there. We did that topping. Let me see if I can get you guys in there so you can see it. Let me move these out. There you go. Now you should be able to see. Let me try to get the camera working a little bit better. It's hard doing it one-handed. There it is, right at that top point there. Right there, you can see it. There you go. So that was the cut point. You can see it's repairing itself right there, but it gives it a chance for these laterals to push outward. That was my objective, is to kind of push it outward. The low stress training where I put the bamboo poles in, I push these open, opens it up for more airflow, opens it up for more lighting coming down as the sun comes up over this horizon, comes right up over here. It's perfect. And then late in the afternoon, these trees kind of shaded off a little bit. I can't help that, they're there. So I try to move these around. I turn them like every day. I give it a little bit of either a quarter turn or a half turn. I just keep rotating it. And that's why I like using stakes versus trellis netting. And I could use trellis netting with the stakes, but I need to be able to get in there, make an ease of doing that. So again, I'll use the poles to hold things together, and I'll start using wire ties and stuff like that to string it if I need to as it grows out. And that was my concern about having moisture in the morning on the dew of the grass and also of the flowers. As these flowers thicken up, we're going to have a real challenge here in New England. They get real dense. Like this plant is getting very, very dense inside of here. So I'm going to have to get back in here and make a decision. I'm going to need to thin it out a little bit. I'm going to need to get in there and maybe come up on some of the nodes, get rid of this undergrowth, because that undergrowth later on is not going to be, it's going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be a problem area. So I'm probably going to thin that out a little bit. Now, I don't like to do it too early because of the fact that these are solar collectors. These are collecting energy, photons from the sunlight, and overnight it creates chlorophyll through photosynthesis. So these are collectors, and if you stop wiping them out, is an issue. The other thing is I've noticed too, is if I go heavy on cutting stuff off, the plant bleeds a little bit, and I've seen it in the past where it becomes a little mold because the sugars or the xylem that's coming out will mold up on you. So you got to be careful of that too. So there's technique to do it. There's a topping right there that I did. Again, trying to drive lateral growth and less upward growth. All right, the ladies are looking nice. I'm happy about it. We've done top dressings. We've done foliar feedings. We'll be doing more foliar feedings as we go through the season. We'll start brewing up some teas. This morning's project is to get these covered. That won't take too long before I go out on my day. These ones over here, these were, the tall ones here were from a project for a clone operation we did. We produced about 13,000 clones for a client up in New York. So these were leftover mothers. Somebody was supposed to pick them up and take them. They never showed up. They flake out. They're stoners, man. I want them, yeah. Hey, we're going to sell the whole freaking group of them for $100. Come on. And you don't show up for it? Dude. So I'm like, hey, they're not going to die. I'm going to take them home. If you're not going to take them, I'll just take them home. I'll stick them out in the backyard. Have fun with them. So they're not really the structure I would do, but again, they were mother plants. We were harvesting off of them. But they're coming along really nice. They're repositioned. Then another group showed up. A good friend of mine, Ed Groen, who's an amazing grower. He said, hey, I got a few extra teens. You want them? I'm like, all right, I'll take 4. He gives me 6. He says, just throw the other ones out. I can't throw them out. Can't do it. So I put them in 2-gallon bags to get them out of the little tiny cups they're in, and they've definitely transitioned and taken in pretty good. So now they have to be up potted again. I'm going to want to get these into 10-gallon pots like those ones over there. Now I like to use the bags because they're inexpensive, because when you're doing this, there is some investments here, my friends. You are going to invest some money. So you want to do it conservatively. So I do this, very conservatively doing these. They're already pleated. They're already got drain holes in them. It's excellent. Now, there was some deficiencies on these plants because when they came to me, they were being fed salts, and they were overaged, and they were root bound, and they were excess plants in his grow up. So this is the past. This is now time. This is the windshield, I call it. This is the rear view mirror. I left these on these for you guys to see. I know some of you are going to comment, go, you should get those bad leaves off there. I know. I've been at this for a couple of weeks now. I'm new at this. I started in 1987 playing with the sacred plant. So I do these things. This video is done for your purposes, for the people that are passionate about it, and for those that are learning. So really it's for the new people that I'm trying to reach down and say, hey, let me show you how to do this, okay? I don't have all the answers. Some of your comments are awesome. I really appreciate the support. And my goal is to try to share what I've learned over a period of time. I hid underground for a long time. I just hid. I didn't want to tell anybody. I just wanted to have my own supply. I've never been in a dispensary to buy weed. And I'm not doing that to brag. I'm just saying that I don't need to. I grow this. I don't need to go to the factory and get some herbs. I have my own supply, and I like to share when I can. So those that know me and those that are following me know that for many years, I would just give strangers bud. See, if I give you a bud, you smoke for the day. But if I can teach you to grow bud, you'll smoke for a lifetime. That's just a biblical term. That's the fish story, right? If you know, you know. But anyways, so there's a little bit of deficiencies here. And these will be taken off. I just get in there and I clean it up and I get rid of the deficiencies, because just drive the growth up to the top section. So I'll go and I'll clean that one up, and I'll clean this one up. These are going to get up potted to 10 gallons. I'll probably do that, I don't know, maybe this weekend I'll get these done. And I have a few extra plants here that are going to my buddy Jimmy. So when you see this, just reach out to me, and I'll give you the address to the new location. You can pop by and pick up a few plants and put them out in your garden. This one's transitioning really nice. I'm pretty surprised. Let me see which one this is. This one is True OG. Okay, that's the True OG. Interesting. OG, ocean grown. I don't know, what does that mean? But looking happy. And here comes the sunshine. Here comes the sun. Look at that. Yeah. There's the big giant LED in the sky. They upgraded that. If you know, you know. That's a new sun simulator. Yeah, that's another story for another day, but it's working good when you get the new LED lights and they're working. That energy's hitting them nice. All right, guys, I got to get back to work. I got to get these things coated, put the insulator on, and as you know, as I love to end my shows. Look at that, there's me shadow. Hey, 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 hey. May those resins bless your bowl today. Live in peace, happiness, and don't forget, when you can, sharing is truly caring. See ya.